Well, morning everyone. New day. It is Saturday today. I've got another vehicle in my garage. This is a 2014 Toyota Tundra, I believe. Yep, 8 of 13. So it's a 2014. We are going to be putting some lights in or under it and in the wheel wells. So let me show you what we got. So we got this kit for the wheel lights. Kind of nice. It's a double ring. These things should be really bright. I think I've put a similar kit on another vehicle, but it didn't. It had the type that clamps around, so you kind of block some of the LEDs. This is actually nice. They pre-installed these, which should help a little bit. And it looks like it's adjustable in size too. That's kind of neat how they did that. Still, they don't. I mean, everything's exterior rated. You know, it's meant to go under the hood. You know, everything's supposed to stay in the engine compartment. Customer does want me to put a switch inside the vehicle, which is no problem. I'll just run a ground wire out and just will interrupt the ground. But all the cables are the same length, so I have a feeling I'm going to be extending at least the rear two. Yeah, I gotta figure out that layout. These are the under kit by Opt 7, the underglow Opt 7 lighting. I've worked on these a few times. I've done a few of them, and they're actually kind of my favorite. And I know you guys have heard me complain in the past about how they don't give enough wire. You know, they make the installer actually extend wires and stuff like that. They don't design the kits for the installer. But I think they heard me complain enough, or I'm guessing other installers that are probably more prominent do this stuff on the daily, whereas I'm just, a garage mechanic that does it from time to time on the side. But you got to check this out. So these two are the shorter of this one goes in the back and this one goes in the front. Look at the length of cable they give you for the back. Oh yeah, no cable extending this time. The only difference, and the only thing I'm not sure I like, this has to go inside the car. It's not sealed at all. I mean, I could put it in something to keep it. I haven't opened it up to see if it's potted, but I do plan on bringing all the cables inside the car. So I'll have to find holes or make holes up underneath the car or underneath the truck to bring the cables in, kind of like how I did my own car. Everything's ran inside, so as soon as where I have my strips mounted underneath my car, the wire enters the car right away. There's nothing hanging underneath the vehicle any more than it has to. So like my rear one goes right into the trunk and then interior of the vehicle. My front one comes through, I think, the firewall. I think I put it there. I don't remember, but either way, I try and keep all the wires up out of the elements just to, reduce snagging and just it looks cleaner. But I'm going to probably do the same thing with this. Should be pretty easy on this Toyota. It's high enough for me to lay under, and I'm sure there's drain holes underneath there that we can pop the grommets out and run wires through. So these are stiff. They're already on their own aluminum channels, which it can be challenging sometimes, but especially on the front and the back. The sides are easy. You got a nice flat surface on pretty much on every vehicle. So front and rear, you got to get a little creative with how you mount them, but sometimes zip ties are your best friend, and sometimes hardware just isn't the way to go. But we'll figure that out, and I'll let you guys know when I do it. So that's today's project. I will come back as I normally do as I've made progress and kind of show you the steps that I've taken so far, and we'll get this done. See you later. All right, I'm back. Kind of making some progress here. Let's have a look. So I got the first one done. This one pretty decent. I didn't have to take I thought with how small that gap was, I'd have to take off the rotor and the caliper, which I really didn't want to. I freaking hardlined it, which is no big deal, but you really got to be careful. These don't. To change the shoes, you just pop them out here. You don't have to take this whole caliper off, which there should be enough room to still get the shoes out. Maybe, this is flexible so they can move it out of the way. So I've got They come with self-tappers, which they recommend in areas that you can use them, and then went with a really small screw and a through bolt or a nut on the back side to hold this one in so I could get that. So if the mechanics ever have to take these apart for whatever reason, they're not having to disassemble a whole bunch of stuff, should be pretty easy. And then the wire, it's really odd how they pre-did these, so kind of like I wanted this connector to be towards the top, and so when I hook my plug up, I wasn't even looking. When I hook my plug up, I'll run the wire, follow the A-arm, actually kind of follow the factory wiring up and behind the fender well, and that's where everything will feed up into the vehicle. So now I just got 3 more to do. I'm hoping the back tires are just as easy, and looking at them, it looks I might have to use the small screws on every one of those, so that doesn't have those nice flat flare areas that the front did. But as long as I don't have to pull the damn rotor. I had to do that in the last vehicle I did, and man, it sucked, because that thing had so much rust. It was so caked on. I broke a tool. I broke a screw. I had to drill a screw out. So yeah, I struggled. I spent more time just getting one wheel done than I did the other 3. So now I'm gonna get my wiring ran for this, and while I have the tire off, although I could probably do it with the tire on, because they're, big rim. That's the rim he's got. Plenty of, my arm fits in there. So I'll probably at least do this one, get my wire down, and then kind of get an idea, and then, move on to probably do this backside next, and kind of just stay on one side of the vehicle and figure out how much wire I'm actually going to have to extend to do this. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. It's only 3 it's only 3 wires this time, so that's good. It's it's pretty easy, and it's got a nice sheath on it. It'll blend in pretty good with the heat shrink and stuff. So back to it. I will be back in a little bit. Now I'm back again. All right, so here's where we're at. I got my wire tied up. Got enough slack here for when it wants to turn. Followed, I believe that's the ABS sensor wire. Kinda, yeah. He meets up there. Up into the engine compartment. I've got the rear one coming out and going along in the drain. I was going to follow those pipes there, but they're really close to the cat, so I don't, there's heat shields and stuff to deal with. I don't want to melt wire. This is just my excess I got to tie up for this one wheel. I've got the other 2 going along the back there, following the brake lines and dropping down. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with them yet. I got to get to that side, but just going to want to show you where I'm at. Now I'm going to pop this wheel back on and go on down the side. I'll definitely have to extend that cable or this wire, because it only goes, yeah, it's going to make it to about there. So I'll have to add at least 6 feet to it just to give myself a little room. Once I get that side mounted over there on the rear driver's side, I'll figure it out. And I'll have to do even more on the other side because I had to go across the engine compartment. But again, insert my normal complaint. At least it's only 3 wires, and it's a nice round cable. It'll look good when I add my wires and stuff like that. And I solder heat shrink, waterproof marine grade heat shrink, so nothing will ever get wet and corroded. So found out this truck is actually going to Guam on Monday, so I will never see this truck again unless I visit Guam or he brings it back. So yeah, not that I'm going to do a shoddy job because it's leaving, but I want, actually it's going to make me do I guess I always do the best I can with what I have. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I have to make sure that this truck has no trouble over there. And if it does have trouble, any guy that's like me over in Guam can fix it easily. So that's my goal. Oh, and he wants 2 switches. So he's got only 1 blank here, but 2 blanks right there. So we are going to go there and there with his 2 switches. Nice and factory look. I don't know what switch I'm going to use yet. I've got multiple choices. So I don't know if I want to use one that lights up. If I do that, it takes more wires, but I might do it. I might feed them positive and negative. I might interrupt positive, I might interrupt negative. These draw so little amps. I mean, 10 amp switch would be plenty. I don't even have to run relay because it's all LED. So that I'll show you at the end. That'll be the surprise. Surprise at the end of the video will be what switches I use. So if you're, if that's the thing for you, I'll get it. That'll be the thing that keeps you, tied into this video. So, all right, enough of me talking. Let me get back to work and I will come back with another update. All right, I'm back. It's probably been about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Yeah, that back wheel, it got me. Let me show you what's going on. So, as you can see, the light strip's been removed. I don't have a puller to remove this rotor. It should. I tried beating it, with a hammer and stuff. There are some bolts here, there, and there. And it's got this little thing in the middle, so I don't have a puller. Last time I needed a puller, I rented it, and I'm not going to go rent one for this. So, what I have done, I took this off. The back side has these bump outs, and which give me plenty of clearance for the screws. So, like, we're not hitting anything, so that's good. I can't spin this because it's in gear, but let me back you out a little bit. So I got it all centered. I got the original spots weren't, or the original locations that were pre-done didn't line up with any of the tabs. So I took 2 of them off, repositioned 2 of them, and then drilled and got my locations where I need them. So now I have to zip tie the or stick this back down. It's pretty sticky still. It's got butyl tape, so it's kind of reusable. I'll put it down and then I'll put zip ties back on it like it did from the factory. You'll never know the difference other than watching this video. So that's where I'm at. Now I know what I got to do on the other side at least, so I don't spend, 20, I guess it's longer than 20 minutes now that I think about it. I don't spend a half hour trying to, beat a rotor off that I can't take off. Not without the right tools. So that's where we're at. I will, when I get this done, I'll kind of update you when I'm done with the other side, because next I'll be running wires, and I don't want the jack stand in my way as I'm running, stringing wires and everything. And I can pretty much gain access to the back of the wheel with it on. So when the truck is on the ground, it won't be a problem. So more to continue. Okay, I am back. It's been a minute, probably 30. Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes. It's actually going a lot better than I thought. Made one boo-boo, and let me show you. So, you see how the end of that cable looks? Got a little screw thing on it. Well, somehow, while I was routing these cables over, I broke those pieces off of both that one and this one. But I've got a nice piece of heat shrink with the glue in there. That is never coming apart, well, until you cut it. I doesn't want to focus, but you can see the kind of focus. Well, anyway, trust me, there's glue coming out of there, so it ain't going anywhere. So yeah, I got all the wheels done. I just gotta put this wheel back on. I've got it ran up with his ABS wire. For some reason, his ABS wire was out of every single clamp. Like, it was just like on the other side of it, so close. I had to put it all back in the clamps. So I don't know if he's had work on this wheel or not, but I got them all back in place, and now I will work on stringing wires. This wire, I got to extend it back there. Got to do the same on the other side, and then while I'm under there, I'm going to figure out where I'm mounting my strips, because if we get under here, I have a nice frame rail there, but man, they'll hang down low. I'm thinking maybe along here, but I like to mount them so you don't see them. So I don't know. I might have to make a couple of brackets and have them kind of supported on here, and give like a right angle bracket, use some of the ones from the wheel lights, and then bolt it to that. And I might do that because then it'll kind of hide it above. It'll be above that lip, so from the side you won't see it, but it'll let all the light hit the ground. So yep, I think I just talked myself into that. So I might utilize those on update from down here. Might utilize those on the front and the back as well. So those are my neighbors. It's funny, everyone has to turn their radio up when they come through town or through the neighborhood for others to hear it, and I turn mine down so they don't hear it. But yeah, that's how it is. All right, I'll be back when I'm done doing all this stuff. Okay, a little bit of an update here. I've got all the wheels back on, and now I'm extending my harness on this side. I thought I'd show you just a little bit of that. Give me a second. Okay, so got my table set up here. So I've got, this is all exterior Tessa tape. Got that wrapped up, and got my wires soldered and heat shrinked with the marine. Gosh, why won't that focus? Boy. Yeah, with the marine grade heat shrink. And then I'll finish wrapping that up. I ended up actually extending it a little too far. Not having fun focusing today. So that was extra that I cut off. So after I extended enough, I hooked the end that I cut off to the wheel and figured out where I was going to route it, and then brought that cable over and realized how much extra I had. So I trimmed it back a little bit. There'll still be some, to go around different structures and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to finish tying this up or taping this up, and then I'm going to work on. I'm going to plug it in, test it, and then I'm going to tie it up and work on the other side. So that's that. We'll be back once I'm on the other side, and maybe I'll show you the full process over there. All right, I am back. Got my headgear on because I'll actually have some light to show you guys how I've done so far. Let me give you an update. All the wheel lights are hooked up. This is just kind of a preview here. Got them all going. Got all my wires tied up. Everything is set except for up here. Let me turn this light on. So still gotta tie up this wire up here and finish up all that. I just have it on a battery right now. I've got the back, or I got the sides up so you can see, level with the bottom of the truck. You can't see the LED strip until we get underneath here. And there we go. So I've got them on, I used some extra brackets from the wheel lights for some 90-degree supports, and I had one from an old set that this is a real pain in the butt to drill, so I just did some double-sided tape, and it's not going anywhere. No, she's pretty taut. So I got it all mounted there. I got the second wire here that you see is coming from the back one, and that one is pretty slick. So again, you can't see it. You won't be able to see it from the back side until we go underneath. And since there's a tube, let me zoom out a little bit. Since there's a tube, I just used some zip ties around the tube and was able to hold it straight. Then I got the wire going up and over, and yeah, it kind of just disappears because I got it tied up on the frame. Turn this off. Yeah. So, all right, so that's where we're at. I gotta do the front underglow. I got both sides the same. I came. Oh, I almost had a bad day today. On the passenger side, they run the brake lines down that side, and where I screwed in on the back screw through the frame, I was like that close to hitting the brake line. I mean, oh, I've felt that thing up and down, make sure I didn't nick it. There's no nicks, there's no nothing. I mean, I was close, and I went through with the drill bit, but I went at an angle, and had I gone straight, I probably would have nicked it. But I guess sometimes it's just, you can be lucky, I guess, and that's I'll take it. I'll take it, because that would have sucked. I was like right in the middle of the truck. I mean, I could have. I mean, it's a Tundra. I probably could find the parts today. They're pretty common, but whew, that was close. So I didn't even. I ran. Okay, so the reason I looked was there was I was able to run the cable for the back wheel, the rear passenger wheel, above the frame tube. It's not a tube; it's a channel. I didn't on the driver's side. It's covered by the fuel tank. You can't see that it's not a full tube. Oh boy, that was close. But hey, I'll take a win, or a damn near loss. All right, so I'm going to get the front tube put in, or the front underglow put on, and then I just got to figure out how to get these wires into the car. I'm thinking I'm gonna come up through. Oh, here, I think I'm gonna drill down in here. I'm gonna pull this up, the carpet up, and see if I can find. I didn't see any main drain holes down there. Sometimes you get lucky and there'll be a drain plug under here. So hopefully I can find that and be able to bring the cables up, because I want to tie everything up in here, and because my battery's on this side, and it's just nice to have that, so all in one area. And there's plenty of cable from if I can get straight up in the passenger floor, I can come right across under the carpet, and plenty of cable. I don't have to extend any wires. I'm thankful for that. These have 4 wires to extend, and I'm out of red, but I do have 4. I have 4 wire that's meant for extending LEDs. So I do have that. So I have some ribbon cable I can use. So not too worried there, but it just saves time. All right, enough rambling for me. I've been doing it for 5 minutes now on this little segment. So as usual, I'll be back and I will give you an update. Okay, I am back. It's been about an hour and a half for me, but a few seconds for you guys. So where are we at? We are down to the little final details, but I wanted to show you now, because I usually at this point I forget to record the rest of it, and man, my face got dirty. All right, so let's go through everything, and I mentioned earlier in the video about guess the switches and stuff. Let me show you what we got. So all right, I got everything put back together here. I've got finishing up the wiring in here. I had grounds, got a 10 amp fuse there that powers the switches. So there's a little bit of a hint. I got to wire up. I got to finish tying up that side. So I got the switches in there. This is for the wheel lights, and that's for the underglow. And there's your answer. Did I use lighted switches? I did. It's just on demo mode at this point. He's got to scan his phone to get the app and everything on. I'm noticing through the phone here, okay, purple looks almost like it's strobing a little bit. It's not in real life. So there's the glow it leaves. You can't see the tubes. That is how I like to do it. You can't see the tubes. You can see the reflection off the whatever the hell that thing is, step bar, but yeah. so I think the demo of the underglow goes through all the colors it does, where it looks like the wheel lights just do the main RGB, green, red, and blue, or red, green, and blue. Let me show you how I did the front mount. I gotta turn them off first. The front tube. And we'll leave the wheel lights on. We'll just do that. Grab my handy dandy light. This was actually pretty easy. They got this metal skid guard here, and I just zip tied through it, and it's centered. You know, this being stiff, it's not going anywhere, and it keeps it above this panel here. So again, can't see it. Like it. Oh, let's get up. Getting too old for this, and too fat. All right, well, the rest of it's boring. Tying wires up. I'm going to neaten up that wiring under the hood and just kind of cover everything as much as I can with exterior tested tape. Kind of nice and hide it, you know, make it not stand out as much. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this one. I'm going to give the customer a call, let them know it's ready, and then clean up the mess I've got here. As you know, you don't put tools away in the middle of a project. Never do that. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. You know what to do. The whole like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Give me a thumbs up. All that. If you have any comments or would like this done to your vehicle, just hit me up. I don't supply the equipment. I don't supply the lights or anything, but I'll do the labor and wire everything up for you. So, used to sell electronics, and I had my own shop here in Minnesota, Washington. I just haven't done it yet. Haven't gotten the distributorship or anything like that. Kind of just want to keep it on the side, you know, free time type of thing. This is a friend or a cousin of Joe, the guy with the Charger, and the black Silverado I just did recently. So, as you know, keep word of mouth is pretty much how I get business. So, if you like what you see, give me a shout. Have a good one.